Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. Okay, so today I was playing Bravo. I was playing Kel McCreastless from the Auckland Calling. I figured that was a pretty good place to start. He is the quote-unquote Bravo expert of Flesh and Blood, so I just took his list and I just played it. I didn't really sideboard any. It's kind of interesting. I was kind of living under the impression or the statement that Roger Bodie made a couple weeks ago that people put Sink Below in too many matchups and too many different things. So I was just playing hard Bravo aggro and just trying to run people over. And honestly, I had a ton of fun. The deck was really cool and really provided a lot of interesting lines. This was an interesting matchup that I played earlier. I've played against Lexi quite a bit in the past, but it's always as Dash or Fi. And Lexi in the past has offered a lot of disruption. She didn't really do a ton of that this game, so it's very interesting to see and kind of some of the decision points that I made and just things like that. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. They can do Frostbites and some other things. I also feel like this is a pretty good Sink Below matchup, but I also feel like so was the last one, but we just played offense better than they did, and it just made us better. So let's see. Chokeslam is really a sideboard card. Chokeslam's not bad in this matchup either because Voltaire does allow them to gain power. Maybe I'm supposed to just not play Sink Belows here. Like maybe Sink Below is like strictly a Fi and strictly a I would say Briar, but I didn't do that last game either. Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to leave it like this and see what happens. I'm definitely not saying that this is correct, but I do really like the idea of... of just trying to push damage here and try to like really put my opponent on the back foot, and I feel like Bravo's not bad at doing that. Quiver of Abyssal Depths. Destroy this, shuffle up to 3 arrows with different names from your graveyard into your deck. Honestly, I'd kind of like to throw so I can pitch Crippling Crush to Tectonic Plating, pitch Imposing Visage to Anothos, and then heave a Pulverize. Or I can just throw a Crippling Crush. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to set up and try to play the longer game here with the Pulverize, but I think throwing Crippling Crush at my opponent on like the first turn of the game is like insanely good. There's just a lot of value there. Plus, the more arrows I pull out of my opponent's deck, the better for me. Obviously, they're playing all the infecting shots here. Interesting. So what? It's a 1 for 5 with the potential to have... it's a 1 for 5 with an on hit. Doing this strips 3 cards out of their hand, which allows me to... let's see... which allows me to try and have a big tempo swing back. So I can go Chokeslam with Pummel here. I go to 36 to do that, and I think that's fine. I'm not really arsenaling, which is something that Bravo likes to do, but I do think that I'm just playing like a hard tempo game to start the game. I think that I can try to play a slower, more value-based game later in the game. But I think if my hands are aggressive and I have the tempo hands, I think I should be throwing my tempo hands at my opponent. Is there anybody in the chat that's debating going to Richmond? I asked that because it's been in the back of my mind, and I am debating how badly I want practice before Baltimore, because the way my week's set up, it'd be quite a crazy trip to try and do something like that. But I think I'm just gonna do this here. I don't get the effect, but I do get their last card. I think getting their last card is kind of cool. Okay, that's fine. We push through a point of damage and we have the same effect, basically. Again, we're just getting these tempo plays. Yeah, so the weekend of Richmond is like the weekend of April 15th or 16th or something like that. And Nate Bargatze is going to be here. Nate Bargatze is going to be here on that Friday. And Carly and I bought tickets because we think it's hilarious. And we're going to go see him. And now I'm debating, is it worth it for me to just turn around and drive, like go to Nate Bargatze, get out of there like 9 or 10 o'clock, and then turn around and drive to Richmond, which is like a 5-hour drive that night. And I just keep going back and forth going, is that worth it? Is that worth it? It's a lot of travel for cards. I haven't really heard from anybody on the team to see if they're going. It would be a lot easier for me if I knew that somebody on the team was going. So if I block with Buckling Blow here, well, this doesn't matter. They have a card in their arsenal. Blocking this is irrelevant. This just says 0 for 3 because they have a card in their arsenal. And it says if they have no cards in their arsenal. Okay, so they're going to play Infecting Shot for 5 go again. So block 5. So I'd block blue equipment, throw hammer for 4, arsenal the red Pummel. I think that's a good line of play. I could be a little bit more aggressive here with the blue Chokeslam and the red Pummel, but it honestly feels like a pretty mediocre play as a whole. It just doesn't feel like a great play. When you have a face-up card in your arsenal, you have an additional arsenal zone. Okay, that's what I thought it said. I just wanted to make sure. You gonna throw the other one at me there, boss? Yeah, so this is what we had played around already. We take nothing. Seismic Surge goes off. I'm just gonna throw this for 4. They're probably just gonna go to 23. Excuse me. The cool thing about this line is that we're still putting on pressure without really giving up anything. So they show Electrify, which means the next thing has to go again. The next time an attack action hits a hero this turn, it deals 3 damage to them, and it replaced itself. So this is obnoxious. This is for 5. Block Chokeslam. I'm going to put the Pummel on the bottom. Draw a 5th card here. That's tough. Be a heck of a time to be playing Oldham. Have a little Earth React right there. The fact that Endless Arrow goes back to his hand is so obnoxious. I hate Endless Arrow. That's like one of those cards that like I would ban for no other reason than I hate it. For literally no other reason than I hate it. Oh, man. He pitched a Rain Razor, so we're quite a ways away from another Rain Razors. So I can block 6 here, throw the Hammer, Arsenal the Zealous Belting. Man, if he has another Rain Razors, then like Blowout. That's tough. So I can block 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's worth going to 21, giving up 8 point of block. I mean, I could stay at 28 here and keep nothing. I get to keep everything that way. Well, I actually can't keep anything here. It wouldn't matter because this has piercing 1. Yeah, so I should just take 7 here. They're just going to kill my Crater Fist, more than likely, because they can actually get rid of the Crater Fist, which very rarely will you ever actually use Crater Fist, but wow, interesting. It's like very rarely will you ever actually use the Crater Fist for anything other than blocking here. I'm very surprised they didn't kill it. I would have, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. It just seems way better to get rid of that than it does the Iron Rot Legs. I don't know. That's interesting to me. Anybody know why they might have done that? I'm curious. Like, I get that the Iron Rot Legs, like, now blocks for 0, but there is like the slim, like 1% chance here that I can actually use this. Let's block this and see what happens. Okay, that's fine. I mean, now this just says 5 now, like. So make a Surge, Zealous Belting 5 go again, and then I'm going to throw the Hammer, and then I have Spinal Crush in my arsenal. The cool thing about the Surge here is that Spinal Crush costs 4, so if I do draw a Pummel, I'm able to leverage that. If I don't draw a Pummel, I'm able to leverage Bravo's ability to come in for 9 Dominate. They have 5 cards in hand, and they're going to have Tunic up. I imagine if their hand is good, they're more likely to keep this here, to keep their hand and just take 6. But going to 8 against Guardian is scary. Destroy this quiver, shuffle up to 3 arrows with different names from your graveyard into your deck. Okay, so this legendary basically just stops Rangers from getting fatigued, or it helps with them getting fatigued. I don't want to say stops because, I mean, you never know, but. So I can block 6 here, essentially, and then I can still have Bravo Spinal Crush, which is pretty cool. If this hits, I lose a life. What 2 cards? I think I'd rather. Well, I take that back. I think I want to block with the Disable and the Showtime. Like, this is fine. I'm okay taking 3, 6 here. I take 6. Go to 10, and I get a Blood Rot Pox token. Okay, that's fine. I still get to throw a Dominated Spinal Crush, which is very good. which means they're going to throw a card. I mean, I guess they can throw a 3-block and then New Horizon and Spring Tunic here. Block 6, have a card in their hand. Or have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah. No. The fact that they have a lightning press on the turn that they're going to... Oh, he used Lexi. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that him using Lexi is his action. So I know that he has the lightning press here. The fun thing is that if I can block with Zealous Belting and get out of this turn alive, I might be able to just get my opponent with the whole pummel trick. Or I can just throw a whole bunch of points at my opponent with Zealous Belting and that, and then Arsenal the pummel. I have to say I wasn't ready for that. I get to throw one more point this way, and I'm taking away the surprise factor of killing my opponent on this turn, but I think that having the Arsenal is better. Now, granted, I understand that I could have just had... Well, this just killed him here. They're taking 2. Let's just go for the win right here. I mean, I was like, if they don't respect this, this also just kills them. Guardian good. Guardian good. Well, I'm 3-0 so far, which is honestly a better record than I thought I would have to this point. I might have to throw the old Bravo deck in my favorites here. Okay, so I ended up winning the match, and honestly, I wish there was like something that I could tell you I did. There was one turn when I had a blue Chokeslam and a Pummel that I could have played, or I could have blocked 5 and made a different play, like thrown a hammer or, you know, do something, or Arsenal. I can't remember what I ended up doing, but I remember I thought about that turn for a minute, and my natural reaction was to just say, oh, let's just take some damage here and let's just throw the blue Chokeslam and the Pummel. I think me blocking 10 and then throwing the hammer for 4 or arsenaling or doing whatever I did was a much better play, and I ultimately think that the life gap that created really helped put me in a driver's seat at the end of the game. So I don't know. I don't always make decisions like that, and sometimes I feel like I make the wrong decision of take a lot of damage and throw a mediocre turn back at my opponent, and I think that that's really where I lose some points over the course of long tournaments, is that I don't think a lot of things through, and then I play a little quickly sometimes. And so it's one of those moments where I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, you know what, it feels good to know that I made the right decision and that decision ended up paying off in the long run. So anyway, also another note, this Lexi didn't really like do any disruption or like play Insidious Chills. It was more of like a lightning Lexi with a lot of the newer cards and some new arrows and things like that. So probably a different matchup if you're playing against Ice Lexi and like they give you some frostbites, or they have these like big on hit effects, or, you know, some things like that. So anyway, but yeah, I really enjoyed Bravo. It's a lot of fun. I'll probably be testing it in hopes that it's good enough for Baltimore. So anyway, thanks for coming by, guys. If y'all got any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts and your feedback. But if not, I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.